Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for watching Tarnation TV on a Saturday night. Here we are, just like we said, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Primetime Racing League, and this is the Saturday night Super Speedway Shootout Series Season 1 finale, final race. And as you can see, well, maybe you can't see it, but there's two tracks tonight. So, Rod, what are the two tracks, and how are we going to do this? Because this sounds like it's going to be a long night.
It might be, might not be, but the two tracks are going to be running Daytona. I think it's RTG, and then just a regular Talladega Nights. Rarely similar, but then again, they race totally different. And the biggest thing is that the start-finish line of Daytona is in the middle of the trioval, what they call turn 4. And then the start-finish line at Talladega Nights is at the end of pit road. So getting used to where that is, that could be a little bit of a difference. But these guys are professionals. I'm sure they've got that all figured out.
Yeah, Talladega being like the one and only track where they've actually moved the start-finish line after pit exit, which is a lot less confusing on the scoring tape that rolls across the top of your screen. Daytona, it's right in the middle, just like every other track on the circuit, of course. But yeah, it's cool, man, because there's both super speedways that they do race a lot different, because Daytona is a little bit narrower than Talladega. You could pull 4 wide off at Talladega, but I don't believe you're going to be doing it here at Daytona.
I can't wait to see if they go 3 wide here. These guys are pretty ballsy. They do it at Talladega Nights all the time. They even occasionally jump them forward like you said. But I kind of want to see if they're going to get them 3 wide today here at Daytona.
Yeah, you can do it, and it's going to be pretty neat. So how it operates here on Saturday night at Primetime Racing League, they run Daytona and Talladega, and they're kind of like a half race each. So it's not going to end up being like a 4-hour night. They make sure that both of these races can be done in a timely fashion. They qualify for Daytona, and then they take a little 5-minute break, reset, and then they do lotto qualifying for the Talladega race, being the second race of the night. So between these two tracks, there will be a little 5-minute break. In that time, I believe we were going to talk with the winner. Whoever wins here at Daytona, we'll chat with them between the track switch.
Yeah, give them a chance to give a little shout out, and whatnot. Hopefully they do well in both of them. But the points, your calculator's got to be reset for tonight, because it's not like last night where the points were, there was a 5-point difference from the first to second, and then it went from 1 point down there. Now we're back to the traditional NASCAR points: 170 points to win, 175 to lead a lap, 180 to you'd get them if you led the most laps. Points are fairly close to a certain extent. Like last night, I believe it was Bobby Farrell was 20 points out and Perry Bond was 26. Well, tonight, Perry Bond is in second, 26 out to Mike Mangialardi. It's going to be interesting. And then you got back there in third. We were talking a little earlier about that, how Randy Waugh probably has a mathematical chance, but he's got to have a lot of luck to be able to win it.
Right, because we're also, keep in mind, those points are only going to be good going into race number 1, because after this first race is complete, these points will be updated. I'm going to try my best to get them on the screen, but I'm not sure if that's how that's going to work. We're going to find out in the middle of the 2 races. I might be able to quit the game and get the updated points, and then we'll see what happens there. But if you win both of them, technically you're coming out of here with what's that, like 300 and whatever it is points. 300 and
if you led the most laps, led the lap, of course, obviously you lead a lap, and won, you could come out with 360. But
right.
You also got to consider if your other competitors are here, and I don't even know how many cars we have yet, but you got to think of it where they might just have to finish each race, and Mangialardi could be the champion. We haven't really sat down and kind of figured that numbers out yet.
Yeah, we'll have to wait until after the first race is done to see what happens. Did you abort your qualifying run? We're going into qualifying here at Daytona.
Yeah, I was working on that. Having a little bit of an issue with my game here for some reason, but we'll get there.
Yeah, it should be an exciting race, man. Daytona's cool, and this is a retextured version of Daytona. It's Daytona RTG version 1.1. So they've changed the color of the racing surface. They've added some logos to the infield, and the walls are yellow, and they've changed the colors of some stuff. So it's a different, fresh look when we get on track. Obviously, the viewers at home can't see it right now, but when we do get on the track, it's a little bit different look in Daytona. But it is the same track. The actual, structure of the track is the same. It's not wider. There are versions of a lot of the tracks where they've increased the banking, made the tracks wider. That's not the case here. It's just a retextured Daytona. So that'll be a lot of fun to run here, take a little break in between and get back to racing at Talladega.
And some of the, yep. I was going to say, some of the Daytona tracks, either TR or BR, just increase the grip on the outside a little bit so that it presents a little bit more of the side-by-side racing that you get.
Right, because, the stock super speedway, like stock Daytona straight out of the game in 2003, and I know, like, when Brian Ring came in and they adjusted those racing lines, it definitely made it a lot more fun, where you could go 3 wide and not worry about sliding. So this has definitely been tweaked to be a little bit more racy and obviously more exciting to watch on a live broadcast. But yeah, tonight we are running the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup 2019 mod. So we've got some cars in play this evening, whereas yesterday we were running the trucks.
And we did good. We didn't say cup
too many
times yesterday. So tonight, if we don't say trucks, we'll be pretty good.
Yeah, we should be okay. Yellow flags will be on, damage will be off. They will pit, or no, they will do a full pace lap. That gives us a chance to run through the field before they go green. 5-minute break between races. The Daytona race will be a 30-lap race with 2 times fuel pit frequency. So it's cranked up to run double as it would in real life. And of course, the same thing with the second race, probably around 29 laps as well.
I got about, when I went out there, I didn't get too many laps in during practice, but I'm thinking that you're probably not going to get too high up into the 28s unless you're in a good draft and you're, backing off. I believe you're probably a little bit lower than that, but we'll see how they do. I'm
thinking this is a cool, like if we're racing here at Daytona, it's a 30-lap race, a little bit short because we're doing 2 tracks. Running the pit frequency at 2x will get you into that 25 or so lap. Like you can't do 30 laps here, I don't believe, on a full tank of fuel at 2x. You're going to need to pit somewhere. You get close.
Yeah, and that's where, if it goes green all the way, strategy comes into play, like we talked about last night, how teams will try to pit together. You may see, as like you're always saying, Bob Dixon, and he always seems to be the first guy down pit road. Some of them guys just don't like to pit in a crowd. So once you get to the point where you can go on fuel, you might consider coming in, pitting, maybe taking 2 tires, getting yourself situated so that should a caution come out, you're going to end up front. Or, if you've got a good group of guys like we saw last night, Bobby Farrow, Kelly Kaza, Ken Roberts, Greg Palmer, they were all just tucked. They had John Godfrey with them. They were tucked right in there, really nice and tight. And they were a force to be reckoned with last night, up until Kaza's motor decided to let go on him.
Yeah, he lost the camshaft in there, so that thing blew up pretty quick. But what a fantastic race last night. I mean, that was phenomenal with the points, the way that they were, and how clean they were running. Really, really entertaining. Really good group of talented drivers, and most of them we see back here tonight. A couple of, I see Chris Elliott is out there today. Yesterday he was not there last night. But most of these names are familiar from last night, so that's pretty cool, man. This should be a lot of fun. And like I said, a lot of talented drivers to help us get through this thing. Pitting, by the way, I got to pick your brain on this one. With the race being 30 laps, having to pit in the 20 to 25 range, I'm thinking. Would you run maybe 10 laps, pit, and know you're fine to the end? Would you try to run it dry and pit as late as possible? I mean, it's kind of hard to call, I guess, because cautions could come into play.
But still, the caution can come into play, and as long as you get in and out quick enough and don't go a lap down, that could be a benefit for you. Tires are not really an issue here. I mean, some of the guys will take 2 tires when they pit. Most of them never take 4 tires. But I think that right there would all depend on, just like I was talking about with Bobby Farrell last night and the other trucks, who you got around you. So if you've got some people that can get in and out of the pits good, and you get out and you get lined up really, really good, that's a good safe bet. But if you don't have that, you risk the chance of coming out by yourself and being out there by yourself for a while. You lose a lot of ground, and that could be more detrimental. So really, it just depends on who your friends are out there and who you can trust to get in the pit together.
The thing too, I find, I mean, I kind of lost what I was going to say there too. I was thinking of something and it totally just evaporated from my from my memory. But I think if there is an early caution, I think this is what it was going to be. If there is an early caution and there is maybe lap 12 or something, I think they're coming in to fill up, maybe take 2 tires, and that'd be about it. I don't think you'll see anybody come down pit road again, because like you said, with a 2X, you are not going to see tire wear at all on a 30-lap race here, really. I don't see a reason to come back into the pits, even just for tires.
No, you would, if the caution comes out. I mean, some people, I mean, you think back to the Life Is Excellent series when we just thought there's no way that Doug Holt can make it on fuel. Some people may come in early, depending on how cautions fall, because you can save approximately about 1 to 2 laps per lap, depending on how you do your saving, of fuel, which could be, a benefit. And on top of that, it depends too. So if you're Perry Bond, you're 20 points out and 26 points out, sorry, and you're out front and the caution comes out, you can stay out there. Do you stay out there? He may, try to get to lead the most laps. He's going to be trying to get every point he can. Yeah,
that's the thing. That's a totally different strategy inside that car, being that close to the top. How and when you pit, how many times you do it. I can't see Perry going in there more than once. He's going to have to pit once. I think you just pit the once, and anything else that happens through that race, unless he gets caught up in a situation where he's got to slam the brakes on and maybe cooks the tire off or something. That might be the only situation where he'd be forced to come in and replace those tires.
So Perry's in the biggest pressure point of all of them, pressure under all of them, because he has to run up front. He has to run out there. He's got to lead the lap. He's got to lead the most laps. He's got to win the race. Mike Mangialardi, he's got a comfortable lead, but as we talked about before, there's a lot of points could be gained, but you'll probably see Mike more just try to keep Perry within his reach, within his sight. Try to keep within a few car lengths from him. And then that way he knows there's no way that he can beat him. And then you got Randy Waugh. I'm not sure what Randy Waugh's strategy really would be. Randy's a fairly decent super speedway racer. So he could be one of them guys that's just trying to do the same thing that Perry Bond does. Just stay out there, try to lead the laps, all the laps, try to win the race. And it's a Hail Mary, but that's the only choice he's got if he wants to be the champion.
And the thing too, this is only one of 2. This is race number 1 of 2. After this one's done, we're re-racking them on a different track and going again. So you're thinking, wow, okay, what's the strategy in this race going into the next one? Maybe, win both of them would be the strategy, I would think.
That's what Perry's probably going to try to do, and I think probably Randy Waugh would do the same thing. By the way, Corey, if you're out there, we want to say hi to you.
Yep. Randy's son Corey, or like we like to refer to Randy as Corey's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be fun, man. Obviously the strategy is to win, but both races being, we've got a 29-lap race and a 30-lap race. It's definitely going to be exciting, but they're gridding up right now, so let's see here. Retire my car, and we'll do some green flag stuff.
As I look at the qualifying sheet, we can see the sneaky guy that stole one last night, taking the pole, Nate Balzer.
Yep.
I'll let you do. How's that this? I'll do inside, you do outside.
Oh, okay. We could do that. Yep. Wait for them to roll off here. I'll get a shot of them rolling off the pits. They're just waiting for a last car to grid up. And you want to do the inside and I'll do the outside. That'll work out perfect.
Perfect.
You got the camera crane boom operator up there at the top right of your screen.
Them guys are some braze ones.
Is that like a real thing? I guess it would be, eh? Like they got these dudes just strapped into a chair and going for a ride.
Way up there high, and then on the windy days, they're just hanging on.
Yeah. I know they use a lot of drones now too, which is kind of neat. That adds a different lane to everything. There they go, rolling off pit road. Let's see if we can find Nate Balser.
Balser is our pole sitter. I didn't, in his GPL car, I didn't see what he was driving for a car yet because weren't quite there yet, but.
Yeah, it won't. It's not going to happen. My game just crashed.
Fun.
We were just getting ready to get a cool view of the starting lineup. So yeah, go through the starting lineup there, Rod, and I'll let me know when I fall out, and I'll jump back in.
Okay. So you've got Nate Balser on pole. Outside is Frank Divins. Starting third is Denny Carroll. Starting fourth is Randy Waugh, one of our points guys that could possibly win it. Starting fifth is RJ Gabbana. Starting sixth is Keith Bynum. And starting seventh is Ken Roberts. And our current point leader as we go into this event, starting eighth is Mike Mangialardi. Starting ninth is last night's champion, Brian Lovell. Starting 10th is Greg Lovell. Outside him in 11th is Chris Elliott. Perry Bond, our second in points, trying to get this championship, starts 12th. That's 13th is Bobby Farrell. He got second last night in the championship, ran really, really well. Starting 14th is Graham McDonald. Starting 15th is Greg Palmer. Starting 16th is Doug Hillock, sorry. And starting 17th is Dan Lovell. Starting 20th is Kelly Kaza, and shotgun on the field is John Godfrey.
John Godfrey.
And you're off. Okay. And we're going green.
All right. If we're going green is where we're going. Now let's get on an actual car.
So Nate Balser just jumps out to an early lead in his Chevy Camaro. That's what I wanted to do, the JBL Chevy Camaro.
That's a super good looking car, I must say.
It is very cool looking. Followed closely by Denny Carroll, right tight behind him.
Yeah, every series, these guys will race. Some guys are consistent through all series. They'll race, they have a paint scheme, and they run it no matter what they're doing. It has to be a little bit obviously tweaked and redesigned to fit on each different mod. But then you've got like Denny in the 41 driving a completely different car that he was yesterday in the trucks.
Yeah, that's why I say me and Mellow Yellow. But Denny Carroll's got the outside. I don't know if I don't know if he led that last lap. I gotta think so.
He did. First lap of the race led by Denny Carroll in the 41.
Snap on Dodge. Good little shoe, Denny is. As I said last night, race with him on Mondays and Tuesdays. Love racing with him. He's a lot of fun.
Well, we're talking about some 3 wide. It looks like they're doing it back here. Didn't take long.
Keith Bynum on the high side, trying to get that high side working.
Yep. Up there with Perry.
I was just gonna say I was just trying to find out where Perry is, and so he saw a chance to possibly go forward. He's gonna take it. Now the thing of it is you got like Randy Waugh. Randy Waugh sees that energy coming. It's not coming hard enough yet, but I bet you if he sees it coming, he'll probably jump right up there and try to get in front of them and pull them up through. Of course, Mike Mangialardi, he's just about 8th right now, 9th. It changes, as they go along. So, he's just sitting right where he wants to be. There goes Randy.
And Mike. And Kelly Causey is thinking about it. There they go.
I'm getting pretty good at calling these races. I tell you what they're going to do, and they do it.
You're like Nostradamus. You got your little lantern there, and you can see the future.
It's just that I've done this a long time, and Even though I'm not the greatest super speedway racer, I know, it's all about energy, where it's coming from. And we've talked about that time and time again, because they do run these super speedway tracks a lot on the weekends. So you get to understand what makes it work, what doesn't. But Ken Roberts and Frank Divins in the middle there, that's kind of going to be kind of like in the sucker hole there, just because, and as I say that, they got a bunch of drivers pull up in front and it'll save them.
This is awesome to start this race off like this, 3 wide really quick, and they got a third line. They got a lot of cars up there on that high line too, helping. The Dickens Cider car of Greg Palmer looking for a spot there in front of Ken. Ken lets him have it.
And I see Perry Bond pull down into the middle. Yes, the high side line was making a little bit of hay, but he's not looking to push them two drivers forward. He's trying to get himself up there and not push them forward. So he dropped down to the middle line right now just to see if he can do it. Now he's down at the bottom right behind 7 of Bobby Farrow, and Frank Devins just pulled down in front of him. So that might help him out a little bit. But you got Randy Waugh. I mean, it is tight up there on the top.
Yeah, man.
Randy Waugh, Mike Angelardi, and Kelly Kaza with Keith Bynum right behind them on that high side, just getting the energy moving.
And Mangialardi in the 29, we're looking at him right now, is the leader in points. He's in a good spot right now, running around 11th. I mean, that changes every half a second just because we're 3 wide right here. But this you can tell this track is more narrow than Talladega. So less.
But they're running it 3 wide still,
Yep.
And of course,
room for error.
Last night's champion, Brian Lovell's out there out front and pushed by Greg Lovell. So I wouldn't be surprised that they would go down and pick up Denny Carroll. Those guys always seem to find each other, always seem to run together. We've seen races where they've, dominated and done real well, especially in the truck series. And just because they're really, really good at their super speedway racing.
And there's a lot of cool, obviously Daytona and Talladega being actual real life tracks recreated in the sim for our racing pleasure. There's a lot of really cool fictional super speedways as well that have been created in the community over the years. And they all race completely different.
Yeah, you go to Coca-Cola Speedway, Super Speedway, that thing is the scariest. It's fun, it's fast, but it's just, you make the littlest of a mistake and the pileup is just intense because you got nowhere to go. Because
it's 3 miles long even. And I think it's about 5 lanes wide, so it's a little bit wider. I think the banking is like 40 degrees, and it's just a crazy track. Like, you could run cup physics with no plates doing 240 mile an hour around that thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, you think this is intense, man. That extra 15, 20 mile an hour, the car, every little move is just amplified the faster you're going, so...
We ran on the week of the 4th for Aero 88. Keith Bynum pulled out Bermuda, which is a super speedway. But it's like a super speedway that's an actual true triangle where you don't have like a little dog leg on the front stretch. You just go straightaway, corner, straightaway, corner, straightaway, corner. Right. It's a pretty neat little track.
It is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Another good one that's a little bit shorter is called Edgewater, and that's a fictional track as well, but it's a ton of fun. It's really fast with the right setup. You don't really need to lift in the truck physics on Edgewater. Truck physics with the setup on Edgewater, just pedal to the metal the whole time too. So, and it's a super cool little fictional one under the lights with palm trees all over the place.
As we were talking about super speedway racing, of course, as I predicted, the 44 Brian Lovell and Greg Lovell and Denny Carroll got lined up in the front. They're not in the points, but I think the highest one is Brian. Greg's right behind him. Denny Carroll's quite a ways back.
Yeah, they're running in order according to the standings the same way on the track almost. It's Brian, Greg, and Nate.
But everybody here, they're not just here because they're not going to win the championship. They're here to try to do the best that they can. So them guys are lined up. They figured that's the best way they can get better points. And I doubt you'll see them pull out and, race each other real hard for it because they're known for just staying in line and whoever happened to be the guy in front, he's going to either win it or be the one that finishes ahead of all of them.
There's RJ Cabana on that high side there being pushed by Chris Elliott. Oh, and Carroll decides to go. I was good to see. You're talking about energy. That was good timing. He got a perfect push going into that turn. Cabana in yesterday's race finished up there too. I believe he was third place.
Third, yep. The thing of it is too, now it gives Denny Carroll an opportunity to go out, maybe lead a lap. I think he's going to make it.
Yeah. Carroll has
he
4 laps.
First lap. That's right, too. He already led a first lap. So I'm just thinking, how driver's mentality. You want to try to lead a lap. That gives you 5 bonus points. So, you just got to try to do it, even if it's under caution or whatever. I always try to see if I can lead 1 lap in the race. It just helps you out a little bit in the points.
Yeah, especially in the longer seasons. Take a look at the number 9 there. Frank Divens, actual is number 09. Currently the fastest lap on the track, which actually just got taken over by the 00 Buckshot Kelly Causey, now has the fastest lap on the track.
And we hope that he paid his motor builder well this week tonight, so that he doesn't have that engine camshaft break again. Yeah,
the truck engine didn't last the whole entire race yesterday, so today, so far, so good. And his fastest lap is 45.110 seconds with a 199.606 average mile per hour.
I always used to joke around about that, saying, the guy goes, he goes, "What's that pin on the motor? Don't pull it." I'm keeping an eye on Mike Mangialardi right now, currently running about in the 10th position. Mind you, that's going to change, as they go through. But he's got Perry Bond right on his tail, and then of course Randy Waz about 2 positions in front, or just
Buckshot.
In front of him.
Buckshot heading to the pits. I just focusing on Keith Bynum back here. He's running in the back with Greg Ulick, and I just saw Buckshot. We were just talking about him head down to the pits.
Somebody pulled the pin.
I don't know. Can you focus on him and see what's going on down there? Maybe he's just doing an early pit stop. Maybe he's kind of going, okay, we're halfway through this thing. Let's go in for an early pit, and he'll be able to make it to the end if that's what he's doing. Keith Bynum's one of the admins here, right? He runs this league, right?
Yeah, Keith Bynum is the admin to it, of the whole shebang.
Yep. So there he is in the 63 car in the back there. He's got John Godfrey behind him, Doug Hulick in the back in that blue Yeti car, number 23. Graham McDonald's up there as well. Frank Divens, car painter. You get to know these guys pretty good.
And you could be right. He come in fuel only for Kelly Caza, so he might be trying to see what he can do, maybe possibly to win this.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. And we did mention it. Like, you could go in early and know you're going to make it no matter what. Now, you think, too, he went in by himself. It's nice to have friends on a super speedway going into the pits. However, if an accident should happen, he's nowhere near it.
And I think that's what he's banking on, because if you think about it, out there by yourself, there's only 15 laps left. So I don't know if they'd ever really actually run him down. But if it goes green, everybody pits kind of together. He's gotten himself in a hole. But if there's an accident, he knows he's going to be able to bypass everybody, because everybody's going to take the opportunity in a caution to go get fuel. Why not? That's your perfect time to do it.
And they have to.
And they'll have to. It'll put him out front. But it's a risky strategy, because if it goes green all the way, I think it'll really, really hurt him.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely banking on a massive pit stop from all these guys to gain that spot back, and maybe some mistakes. Frank Divens peels off. Yep. So we can watch on the ticker in the top right. I just brought up this little black box here. In 18th position, you see the 00 of Kelly Causey, 41 seconds behind the leader. And that number is growing, which means they are catching him.
The thing you're going to want to watch for, though, is once Frank Divens comes out, all right, you'll see how many seconds ahead of Kelly Caza that he's going to be, and you'll understand how much time Kelly Caza lost not being in the draft.
Okay, yeah, good point. So we'll watch for the 09, currently with 8.5 seconds right there above the 00 Buckshot.
Now the strategies, now they can make it. It's just a question of how they
There's
want to
Kelly
invest.
there.
Yeah, he's just getting put down a lap.
Yep.
Suppose that's not going to work either. I was trying to think of a strategy how that was going to work out good for him, but I don't see it unless he stays with them. So now he's going to stay. He's going to get into that draft. Now he's going to have the speed back. It may pack, now that he's in with a big pack, as long as it doesn't go, if it goes green, it may end up paying off just because now that he's in the pack, he's going to be making up the distance he kind of lost.
No takers that time around.
We know they can go a lot further.
Yeah, interesting field strategies. This is cool. I like this. And Kazi looks like he has latched on to the rear of the pack there.
And while we were watching what's going on back there, Greg Palmer and Ken Roberts must have made a move or something on the high side with Randy Waugh, and then they took to the bottom. So Greg Palmer's leading Ken Roberts, and then Randy Waugh in third, and then Brian Levels in fourth, and Greg Levels in fifth. So that could have been a situation where they may be kind of pitting soon. I just see
Chris Elliott in the 9.
Yeah,
we were following him around there in that Doritos car.
I see that makes me hungry.
And he runs a series, I think the Back to the Future series was Chris's doing.
Yeah, and I'm his backup admin.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're in cahoots.
Yeah, that's why when you asked me to do it Tuesday night with you, I couldn't, because I'm one of the admins for that.
Right.
Plus, I back up Keith Bynum on Monday. Now, what's interesting is we're getting down to 10 laps to go. So, people are chatting. We need to get somebody up in that room right now. As I've talked about before about having like a pit reporter, would be somebody listening up in that room. The people making deals, making bets. Hey, come with me. Let's go. Because you want to go in the pit road with a group of guys that you trust.
Keith Bynum on pit road. Looked like he was all alone on that one. A lot of lone wolf pit stops going on right now. Nobody's taking a buddy with them. I thought for sure you'd see a couple of those guys stick together. I mean, especially with Buckshot going down there all by himself. I mean, all these guys have partners in crime out here. There's Brian Level, the 44. Focused on him, currently in 4th position. Last night, what a wild race that was. He was going to win that thing, and then...
Here we go. Now they're all pitting.
Yeah.
All but Kelly Kaza and Frank Gibbons, which were the ones that didn't pit.
Look at how clean that was. That is a thing of beauty right there, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen watching, this is why you join these leagues. Because it's way more fun than artificial intelligence, which is really good in this game. The artificial intelligence in this game is actually pretty awesome. But that was one of the smoothest pits. Oh. Brian drove right through the pits.
And lost control.
And did he miss his pit stall? I'm going to say yeah.
So now the focus on my end is on Kelly Kaza and Frank Gibbons.
Greg Palmer is around.
Where are they going to come out where they're going to come out with the rest of the field?
So I jinxed it. I said that was the cleanest pit stop cycle I've ever seen in my life. And then it looks like something happened there. And then Palmer got spun around coming out the race off.
Right now they're starting to pick up the guys that were a little, whoops, we almost got a spinner coming off pit road there. He got it sideways, but he saved it. Good save. I didn't catch who that was. But they're actually going to catch some of the cars that just pitted. Kelly just got into the back of, I believe that was Ken Roberts. They gave him it was Greg Palmer. He gave him a shot to get him going.
Yeah, Brian Lovell, I just saw him going down the pits again.
It was Mike Mangialardi who come off pit road sideways. I mean, literally crazily sideways, and managed to save that and keep going. Currently sitting back in 18th, so I'm pretty sure hoping for a caution.
Yeah, that'll be. So we're now looking on this little black screen again. The top left your corner. I'll turn on that real-time stats. Get instantaneous information at the line. like I said, that is instant. When they cross the line, it will update the driver's interval to the leader, which is a lot faster than that rolling ticker across the top of your screen right now. So I'm just looking at this second pack, led by the number 63, to see if they're gaining. They're gaining a little bit. We've got a 5-car pack up front here.
Watching Frank
And we've got a
Divins
5-car pack back here that's going to pick up Ken Roberts in the 55 and make that a 6-pack.
I'm watching Frank Divins, Greg Palmer, Kelly Kaza, and they just, hopefully he's able to pick up behind him. They picked up Chris Elliott. So they lost almost 12 seconds by pitting that early.
Wow.
And I just do not see them making any of that time up. Granted, they're running nice, tight, and, nose to tail. And they're about to pick up, I believe, Greg Level. Nope, sorry, Perry Pond. Perry Bond, Perry Pond, thank you.
Bond, yeah, B-O-H-N, Bond.
Yeah, so he's about to pick him up. I trip on words some days. So they're just gonna go right by him. That's the thing of pitting by yourself like that. Even though they ended up getting together, that really hurt them.
Yeah, it definitely strung the field out a little bit here. Now that pack here, it looks like Ken Roberts has latched onto the back of this pack just barely. But at the line, I'm going to see the interval from the 63 to the leader right now is 4.3, 4.25. So they are only gaining by just around half a second, like not even in 5 laps. They will not catch that main pack.
Right now, Randy Wild's running in second, which is he's doing what he's got to do. He has not led a lap yet, which is one of the things that needs to try to do before these last 5 laps. Here we are. We're so enthralled in trying to find out where everybody is and what's going on. I don't realize we only got 5 laps left.
Yes, we do. So here's the thing with Randy. I mean, it'd be nice to win the race, but they are running the points system that is exported on the race completion here that is stock with NASCAR 2003 season.
Where
it's
he
only
is right now,
5-point gap. He's not. I can't see him trying too hard to pass Greg. I mean, Greg Lovell leading this race. That is an easy car to follow. Maybe just, are you content with second, or do you think he tries a move here?
The biggest thing about it is you got to look who's behind him. Will Nate Balzer, will Denny Carroll go with him? Would Bobby Sherrill go with him? You know what I mean? That's the big thing. So if he decides to pull out, it could jeopardize his finish even more than if he stays right where he is. Now,
exactly.
That being said, though, you got to be able to keep an eye on what's going on behind you, because with only about 3 laps left to go, it might get a little bit more racier. And if that happens, this is why these guys are amazing, and I can't stand doing this. But you got to keep an eye on where that momentum's coming, and you can possibly get out there. He really only needs to lead 1 lap, and he lead the last lap. So
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, Greg Lovell definitely knows how to get around every kind of track in this sim. And like I said, he's not a bad guy to follow, but it would be glorious to try to beat him. So I wonder if that's, I mean, obviously Randy's thinking that, yeah, it'd be nice to beat Greg. It'd also be nice to finish second place. But I wonder what those guys behind him are thinking. What's Farrell thinking? What's Balser thinking? What's Carroll thinking? Like, are they thinking, let's push Randy to the win? Or are they thinking, let's just leave him behind?
And Greg just led the same amount of laps as Craig Palmer did. So, if he can just lead 1 more lap, he'll have the most laps led. And, he's going to, no one can beat it. Unless caution comes, and then someone beats him to the line. I don't even know. They can't, because you're only about 2 laps. So if he leads 1 more lap, he's got the most laps led, so that there's nobody can take that from him.
Yeah, so laps led right now. Brian Lovell has 5, 1 by Chris Elliott, 7 by Greg Palmer, 1 by Ken Roberts, 1 by RJ Cabana, 5 by Denny Carroll, and 8 by Greg Lovell. So most laps led this evening, the number 8 of Greg Lovell. And we will be coming around to the white flag next time by the stripe. And they're getting fanned out here now.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now they're starting to make a move. So Denny Carroll went to the high side with Brian Level. So Randy Waugh decided, if I'm going to go try to win this thing.
Did he make the move too early?
I don't know. I mean, if Denny can get to him and give him a hell of a push, which he's doing, it's going to be close. Got one more lap.
Pack, yeah, that other pack is within 3 seconds now, but they will not catch these guys.
Okay, so Brian Level abandoned the high side, so that is going to hurt Randy Waugh.
Yeah, they got 4 on the bottom. Waugh still holding second.
Okay, Mike Mangialardi moved way to the high side to let them guys go by.
Mangialardi, remember, he's a lap down, going down a lap right now. He is our leader in the series. Look at, they are latched right onto each other. This is going to be a good one. Now remember, Randy was in second, pulled out a line, might still get second.
Right, but Denny's got to push real hard.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It looks like it's going to be a third place finish for Randy Waugh. And a race win for Greg Lovell.
But you can't fault him for doing that.
No.
The energy was coming. I mean, he was just trying to do what he had to do to be able to get up there and try to get as many points as he can.
Now you think about it, that's a 5 points that he lost going from second to third.
Yep.
So you wonder now, at the end of the next race, if he's out by a couple points, he starts thinking about all those what ifs, right?
Yeah. And of course, Mike Mangialardi having a bad exit on the pit road there, he puts him all the way back to 18th position.
Congratulations to Greg Lovell. I guess we should save up that replay. Awesome finish, man. What a great race that was. No yellows.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Greg. I'm going to grab Greg. Greg Lovell. Greg Lovell, and bring him down here. You have a little chat with him real quick.
Cool. I will let you interview Greg. I'm going to see if I can get those updated points that we might be needing here. I'll see if I can make this happen. This is all behind the scenes stuff.
Hi, Greg. I heard you up there chatting away with the guys, but I had to come up and grab you and congratulate you on the win. Pretty uneventful race for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I knew Nate would stay with me, and I knew Brian would because he's my brother. Brandy went out to try to go around me, and they just didn't have enough cars.
Yeah, well, we were kind of watching there, and I was like trying to figure out whether Randy would go or not. And then when the energy started to come from the high side, he went out and tried to do it, but it just didn't work. So of course, you're pretty good at the super speedway stuff, so it's not surprising to see you back up there and winning.
Yeah, that top line just didn't have enough cars, really. It was 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So the bottom's gonna go.
Well, I just wanted to bring you up there and give you a chance to give a little shout out. I'm pretty sure you'll probably be back up there in the next one. We may have to talk with you again, but just wanted to give it. God, I do too. Give a chance to just give a little shout out to the family and friends and stuff, and we'll get you back out there so you can practice for the next one.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to you and Blaine. Good to see you, Blaine. Hey, haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I'm racing in that big event there next Saturday too, the mega race. So that'll be a lot of fun. That team race that Jeff's putting on. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Graham McDonald, man, for the series, and he's done a phenomenal job, man, all season. And give a shout out to Keith and all these guys, man. They, I like Keith, and they do a good job running server, and I really enjoy racing over here. And about to give a shout out to my wife and my family and everybody. And my dad, he's battling a lung problem right now, so I'm trying to keep him on my mind. And
That's too bad.
yeah, he's got cancer,
Oh,
and he just started chemo. So I've been worried about him, and he's just part of life, man.
yeah. Unfortunately, cancer is, but they can fix it. So, I mean, my mom survived it many, many years ago. She's still around. So, all the best there.
His ain't the terrible kind. So he worked in the mines when he was young and got that rock dust in his lungs, and that's what caused it. But he's got black lung and OCD, and what's that called, COPD and stuff. So he's 82 years old. So I mean, he's lived a good life. I hope I live to be 82.
Yeah, that's a good run. You'll see a lot of stuff being around that long.
Yeah. He was born in 42. 41 or 42.
Wow, man. Yeah, well, that's not good news, but all the best there. They can, catch it early. They can get it done.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope they do. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks for coming out.
Congratulations. Good luck in the next race, dude.
Thank you.
So we just got a chat from the higher ups, and they said the guys want to come down. So our second place finisher, Nate Balzer, he got to snuck the win away last night. Second place, buddy. You're right up there running pretty good today.
Yeah, just trying to stay out of trouble. Good pit stops. Trying not to pull out a line too much. Sometimes here you get in real trouble doing that. You end up going back about 10 spots. But I think Greg probably knew I was going to stick with him. I would probably place a bet on that, which that was my intent. And sometimes it's not always smart to try to get crazy and win, but it's good to help a guy out and get a good place finish.
You guys put on a great race, man. That was an awesome race.
I think you'll find if you watch the race that Greg said he knew you'd stay with him. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was intense. I mean, this is one of the few tracks that you really got to hold on with both hands. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a super speedway, but it's so much different from Talladega, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely different. Just completely different. I mean, you really. A lot of the times I'm a left-hand driver, and I just have my right hand resting on the gear shift. And this one, you're two-handing all the way around.
All right, I hate to cut you short, Nate, because I don't want to keep, I want to give you guys a chance, but we do have another race coming up, and we got another guy coming in.
Absolutely, I appreciate you pulling me up, and thanks you guys watching, and I appreciate it.
Give a shout out to people real quick that you want. Hopefully, you get a chance to do a little later, but we'll give you that option. All right, we're just trying to get it moved along.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry, Kathy, for watching. My wife Angela, my daughters Alex, Madison, and Katarina. Thanks for the support, and thank you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Corey's dad.
Hey, guys.
What's happening, Randy? Man, that was a great race, dude. So we actually have the updated point standings after race 1. We have them on screen right now, and you've closed the gap. You were about 160 or so points away from that first place spot, and your third place finish got you within 106 points of Mangialardi for the championship here. You think you can pull it off?
I don't know. It's going to be hard. Normally, I would have stayed behind Greg and just pushed him to the win and got second, but I needed that win, so that's when I pulled out.
We were talking about that. We were watching what you were going to do, trying to figure out, whether you'd go out and win. And as I said to Blaine, I said, he's going to go. If the energy's coming, he's going to go. He's going to go. And then it didn't really work out for you. You lost one position. But like I said, I don't think anybody would have done anything different. That's the opportunity you had. that would have given you at least 10 more points, and you had to do it. You have to go.
Oh yeah, you know it. I saw them coming on the outside, and I was just hoping that it's enough of them to push me by. But maybe I should have done a lap earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard hard thing to do. This super speedway racing is so intense, and you got to just keep looking and going and moving. And like I always say, it's like playing chess with 20 people at the same time at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, I was afraid if I went any earlier that I'd just get pushed to the back. So I thought I'd try
That's the
on
thing,
last
it's
lap.
always the what if scenario of like, what if I go too late? What if I go too early? Same scenario the next day, same choice the next day is a completely opposite result. So you never really know. It's a little bit of luck every single time, and you know who you're surrounded by.
I'm gonna have to get Blaine to dig out his calculator because I'm not sure. But there's 16 drivers in here, and you're 160 out. I don't know if you can make enough to make that up or not. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so. And if it comes down to it, I'll help Mike out a little bit toward the end.
Yeah, because I think, if Mike starts the race and there's only 16 drivers, he's still going to have it. It'll be close, but I don't know if it's possible.
But anyways, I'm not trying to rush everything along, but yes, I am. You got to get out there and turn a few laps, bud. So quick shout out to Corey and the fam and whatnot real quick. We'll get you back out there, get you racing. Good luck in the second race.
Thanks, Rod and Blaine. Hey, Corey, let's go do it again.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Corey.
All right, I'll be
Hopefully
back
we'll see
in
you in the
here
next
next
one,
time.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Yeah, so Graham McDonald was not lying when he said that the server updates the points pretty much instantaneously after the race is done. Here they are on screen. I was able to get out, capture screenshot, cut them up, stick them in here for everybody. So this is, again, up to date after the Daytona race that we just ran. These points, of course, have changed, with Perry now within 11 points of Mike Biangialardi. So that is the race. We're definitely going to be watching Perry and Mike going into this Talladega Nights Super Speedway final race of the season here. Primetime Racing League Saturday Night Super Speedway Shootout Series. It was such a long name, I couldn't actually fit it all on the top right hand of the screen. But it is actually the Saturday Night Super Speedway Shootout Series.
I think that Mega Marathon race, the way it went around, just opened up so many people's minds to different ways they could do races. And then I think Graham said, that was a pretty cool idea, but maybe something like that, a little smaller scale, but with just super speedways. And that's what he came up with. I think I can understand and like something like this better than trying to go out there and do 66 to 80 laps in one race, doing Talladega and or Daytona.
It is. It's a neat thing because you've got two different tracks. They're similar,
but not.
Yeah, you're able to make it work because you can shorten them. Like you shorten the races, so the broadcast doesn't really get any longer. I mean, we ran Talladega full length yesterday. They run not full length, but they usually run that 66 lap. So you run 66 lap race. There you go. That's your race time, whatever it was. It was a 2-hour broadcast. So we're exactly 1 hour into the broadcast right now, and we're starting race number 2. So I think today with 2 tracks, I think it's 59 laps or whatever it is instead of 66. So it's the same time frame. It's perfect.
And remember, this one is lotto qualifying. So now, you don't go out and set the fastest lap, put yourself on a pole. Perry Bond could be second to be starting on a pole, and Mike Mangialardi could be, shotgun on the field. You don't know until after qualifying is gonna go through, and that's in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, speaking of which, my game just hooked up, so I will definitely be jumping back in there right about now.
So you got to think about it too. Like they say, the tracks are very similar, and they do drive very similar to most people. You just had Nate Balzer saying that he's driving this track totally different than he would Talladega. Although they're very similar, Daytona is 2.5 miles. Talladega is 2.66 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 20 feet or 30 feet wider. So Daytona, all the banking is fairly similar. Daytona's always been more of a handling track. I know that sounds funny, but it is. You have a little more tire wear at Daytona than you would at Talladega.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And that's why the Daytona race was 30 laps, or this one's 29, because it's approximately the same distance.
Yep.
But because it's a little bit longer, we're getting one less lap.
They're running basically a 25% race. In other words, just a quarter length of the race is what they're running. NASCAR doesn't go technically by laps. It goes by miles. So it's the first 500 miles, or it's the first laps to get to 500 miles. So on the big tracks, it would be, less laps. And then on the smaller tracks that are under a mile, it's 500 laps.
Right. Yeah, because like Bristol would be a 500 lap race. Yeah.
It'd be if you're doing 500 miles, you'd be a 1,000 lap race, and that would be brutal.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, there's probably someone who's done it.
I've had different leagues, and I've heard them. There's a way of doing it with this sim. Do like the 24 hours of Daytona.
Yep.
And I just, can you imagine? Just racing for 4, 5, 6 hours, go take a nap, come back racing. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild, because then you'd have driver swaps, because you'd be able to like quit or crash your game on purpose and then have another driver come in with the same number and drive the same car, so the stats are the same. Like, there's a way to cheat the system.
So I outqualified you by 1 position. Look at that.
Let me see here. Let me be the judge of this.
I'm 9th, you're 10th. So that's kind of cool though, because now it just moves everybody up equally. But
it does, yeah. Yesterday we had inside line. That was pretty funny.
But through the random draw, like we said before, now Chris Elliott's on a pole with Denny Carroll on the outside pole, Ken Roberts, Keith Bynum, RJ Cabana. Sorry about that, RJ. Bobby Farrell, Greg Lovell, Mike Mangialardi, Nate Balzer, Kelly Kaza, Randy Waugh starting kind of way in the back, Brian Lovell, Greg Palmer, Graham McDonald, Terry Bond starting 17th. Well, that would technically be 15th, and Frank Dibbins, and shotgun on the field is going to be Doug Hillock. So it'll be fun to watch Dibbins and Hillock probably make their way through the field up to the front with Perry.
Yeah, we'll definitely be keeping our eye on Perry and Mike. On the screen right now, upcoming broadcasts here at Tarnation TV. Nate Balser presents the Breast Cancer Awareness Race for a Cure, September the 28th at 9 p.m. right here at the Primetime Racing League, I believe, is hosting this race.
Going to be doing a single race, is he?
Yes.
Something like the ALS race that we did?
Correct, yep. It'll be a Talladega Super Speedway. I'm not sure if they're running this version of Talladega. I mean, all versions of Talladega are exactly the same track. It just depends on what they actually look like. Color of the walls, night or day, dusk, dawn, all that stuff can change.
Yeah, and color, stuff like that. But I'll tell you,
grip can change.
Grip can change a little, but I have never been a fan of Talladega, and I've never been shy to say that. But this is probably one of the better Talladega tracks that I've ever raced on, and these guys running 3 wide. I never thought I'd be doing that, but then as I got better with them, running with them and getting out there and doing it, it's like, wow, this track is pretty wild.
Currently in happy hour right now. They're just cutting some laps before the race starts in less than 3 minutes. Yeah, this track is a lot of fun. Retextured by John Godfrey. Was it John Godfrey?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. The red walls and the nighttime atmosphere and all the billboards along the trackside, and Rodney Sullen's Winnebago there at a turn number 2.
We haven't got the invite to go down there yet. I'm a little worried,
We haven't been talking about them much. Maybe they don't like us anymore.
I've heard they got some pretty good moonshine down here. So
sometimes the debris ends up on the track,
Mm-hmm.
Old hot dog containers and empty, soda cans.
Yeah. Oh gosh. We have fun with Rodney's camper.
Yeah, we can actually go see it. We just drove by it. We're in happy hour, so I'm just rewinding it. You can see Rodney's camper right up here.
Speaking of him, I'm surprised he's not here tonight.
There is the Rodney Sellens Winnebago. It's even got Go Rodney written on the front of it. So every time the drivers come out of turn 2, watch out, because Randy's got an army up there. The only red Winnebago on this whole track. That's super cool track. No, we'll just go for a ride. Who are we attached to right now? We're attached to Graham McDonald. He's carrying us around here right now to see what this track looks like. Even though everybody already knows what it looks like, this is what the retextured version. And John did have some little Easter eggs in here. We got Tarnation TV's logo on the grass, which is always super cool.
They're doing a practice pit stop, which is pretty good. RJ Cabana was right behind him.
Getting ready to go green here in about a minute. Points are super, super close. Thank you, everybody on YouTube, for watching this evening. Nate Balser in the YouTube chat. The version of Talladega they will be using for the breast cancer awareness race is BSR version 3.
Oh, cool.
The most up-to-date burnt screwdrivers truck. That is the version of Talladega we'll be running.
It's pretty cool with these guys. A lot of them, they always like to do different little things for different, the cancer, like the ALS races, the cancer races and stuff. It's kind of cool what they do.
Yeah, it's neat.
Let's see, 25 seconds, and we should be seeing cars on track.
Thank you to Graham McDonald and the 24 Mopar machine for taking us for a ride around this track. And we are getting ready to go green. Let's head to the grid and ungrid ourselves. Brad Otto is in the YouTube watching the broadcast. Hey, gents, give them heck. That actually came through in race number 1.
And McDonald's currently, he is in 5th in points. He probably could get up to 4th. I think he can beat Bobby Farrell. I know his points-wise he could. I don't know if he could make enough to catch Randy Waugh, but he's pretty close.
Thanks again to Javier Negron in the...
Okay, buddy, fired up here. Remember, one switch at a time, turning your stuff on.
Oh, what happened here?
He's not.
Fix my cameras here. Something is going on. Alrighty then. I had the camera on the car and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. So instead of causing everybody vertigo, I'll fix this while you can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, thanks, Javier. Javier says, "Hola, amigos. Have fun." Blaine, you did do the chicken pit scheme for the Aero mod. That's what it was. He took we were looking at that chicken pit truck. Yep. He took that and formed it into the car we were looking at, or the truck that we were looking at, because I made it for the Aero car.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's what it was. Just
not
waiting
running tonight, though.
For the grid. Oh, geez, did I? It didn't retire.
Come on, rookie.
I know. It's got no drive button. Is that going to mess up the...
No.
Does it add laps to caution flags? If my drive button goes gray like that?
You should be fine. You should be fine.
Okay. Because I know that messes it up sometimes. You go to retire, and then the game just sort of hangs there.
Yep.
Like, uh-oh. Broadcasters fail, even though I click it and nothing happened. But anyway, I apologize in advance. Free muffins for everybody.
Where did Chris Elliott go?
I do
He
not
has a
see
pole.
him.
He did not make the race, so the inside line will move in a little bit further,
Ooh.
which is a little bit of a help for Perry Bond and Randy Waugh, who are both in the inside lane. Have to give Chris a hard time for not making it.
Yeah.
He probably stepped away and then got back too late, but that's all right. He can jump in. He'll be laps down.
Right. That's the thing, too. We may actually see that car appear on pit road. Let's see if we can find him. Yeah, so far nothing. There's
Just
Frank Divins.
Just trying to figure out which line you think is going to go faster. You got Ken Roberts on the inside, Denny Carroll on the outside, Keith Bynum behind Carroll. You got Greg
See,
Lovell
you
back there in
know,
third.
these guys love that middle line. The middle lane here is the fastest way
Yep.
around this track. Not the shortest, but the fastest. So they're going to want to squeeze up, but I don't know, man. That top side's not going to let that happen. Then that won't really happen until lap 2 anyway, because they're not going to be up to full speed.
Yep. We're getting ready to go green. Now remember, they've already passed the start-finish line. The other track, it's way down by the end of pit road.
Mm-hmm.
A lot longer drive. Green flag's up in the air. Now the question is, which line is going to make it around there first? I'm going with Denny Carroll. I think he's gonna lead the first lap.
So right
Just
off
have
the
a
hump, we've got Perry Bond back there in about 14th spot. And Mike Mangialardi in 8th. Mangialardi being the leader in the points coming into this last and final race of the Super Speedway Shootout Series here on Saturday nights.
If I'm Mike Mangialardi, this is my plan and my plan for the night. Find Perry Bond, stay right on his rear bumper. You know what I mean? Just or stay ahead of him. That's all he's got to do is stay ahead of him or finish right behind him. And I pretty much think he'll have it wrapped up. So, you know, that's got to be his focus. And I was wrong. Ken Roberts, the low line, took off and went out. Now Randy Waugh just pulled up in front of Denny Carroll to see if they can get that high line going.
Yep. Early they jump out on that high line. So, yeah, there is an 11 points that Bond, the gap between Perry Bond and Mike Mangialardi. So
that's 3 positions.
Yeah.
Or one person leading a lap and, the other one not.
Yeah. So far, the lap was led by Ken. It looks like it may not happen a second time in a row, but Ken did get to that middle line. He wants to run that middle.
Of course, what you're right about the middle line. Everybody likes that middle line until you get somebody on the outside of you, because you come off that line, you want to be able to just drift up a little bit off the exit of the corners. And if you've got somebody on your outside, you can't do that. Whoops, we got a spin already.
And there's RJ Cabana leading that lap.
Mike Mangialardi's involved. So I don't know how bad he was involved, but Keith Bynum was spun around. Trying to get a better view of it. Looks to me like Ken Roberts drifted up just a little bit, which got kind of got into the back of Keith Bynum, spun around. Mike Mangialardi, who was kind of right behind all that mess, didn't have anywhere to go, and kind of collected Keith Bynum. Being there's no damage, they just come in, change tires, and they'll come out and go back at it again.
Yeah, looking at that from helicopter view, actually, it looks like Keith actually might have
come down. One of the they had a little
bit,
contact.
yeah. Keith came down a little bit. And there's nothing Ken can do about that one because he's just going to end up spinning himself right off the bumper of Denny Carroll. It all happens so quick, though.
Yeah.
A little bump and the car gets a little bit sideways. And like we said, the faster you're going, the more amplified it is. And the little wiggle turns into a great big problem. So, yellow flag on the course. Keith, right there on your screen, probably headed to pits to get some fresh rubber. Like we said, yellow flags are on, but damage is off.
You can still have a random breakdown, which, you know, would really suck for him. That's like what happened to Kelly Kaza last night. You know, the camshaft broke. But, you know, no damage. You go in, putting 4 new tires on it. Now you're...
there's no way to shut that off, right? Like, if even you set damage off, the engine damage can still happen.
You know, that's a random breakdown. You just luck of the draw.
Yeah. As we watch everybody, nope. Buckshot staying out. McDonald staying out. Hewlick staying out. And there is Chris Elliott staying out. So Chris Elliott is a lap down. So we watch here from the pit camera.
Wonder if they're going to try to see if they can make it from there, or because I don't think they can do quite that.
Yeah, 2X here, I think. I think it's about 24, 25. Because I know on 3X it ends up being about 12 to 14.
No, Doug Hullock is clutching.
I just saw some cars disappear. Am I seeing things? I'm just going to rewind that for a second. This is an instant replay right now. What just happened there? The 63 of Keith Bynum. Did he retire? We were just looking on pit road camera, the static camera, and it looks like Keith disappeared. So he may have retired.
Yeah, I believe he did.
The ticker will update the information here. We'll have more information for you after the short break, even though we don't take commercials. But yeah, give us a couple minutes. The ticker will update it. It appears that Keith Bynum has retired, unless he had a connection failure, which Keith Bynum has manually disconnected, according to the console.
Yeah, so I saw that. Sure, why?
His pepperoni pizza showed up.
That's probably it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd leave too. Like, ding dong. Ooh, the pizza's here.
So Keith Bynum, sorry. Chris Elliott and Kelly Kaza are now pitting. They're bringing a bunch of other drivers with them. Of course, now Doug Hillick and Graham McDonald stayed out. Harry Bond's one of the drivers that pitted earlier, but he stayed out.
So I believe this answers your question. You weren't sure if they could make it or not, and they're all coming back in again.
Yeah.
This is going to definitely put them to the end. So in another, 24 or so laps, plus these are yellow laps as well, these remaining ones, they're all coming in for a top-up. All super quick pit stops right there. Focus on Buckshot there.
Graham McDonald and Doug Hillick stayed out. Bobby Farrell and Perry Bond didn't pit on the second time like everybody else did. They decided to stay out, as well as did Mike Mangialardi. And then the rest of the field behind them went in and topped off again. So...
Is this a fuel strategy race now? If we go green the whole way... My statistics right now are showing Graham McDonald 0 pit stops, Doug Hullick 0 pit stops. Yeah, Bobby, Perry, and Mike, both with 1. So they did pit, just not that second time for a top-up.
Right. It's a question of whether or not they can make it clutching. You know, Doug Hillick is really good at that. So
yeah, I'm wondering about that. Perry and Mike went in the first time. Everybody else came back around that second time. You saw went in and jammed a little bit more fuel in that tank. It's not a lot, but it could be the difference. Lights on the pace car are still on, so we are going to go around at least one more time at pacing speed, which is 70 miles per hour or so. Does Perry go to the pits? Does Mike go to the pits? And there's the commitment line. and they're both a no. So they think that they can make it. The 60 Red Bull car that we're staring at right now, and the Blackhawk down, 029. The Blackhawk down the Red Bull car, Mike Mangiolani and Perry Bond. Mike in the lead only by 11-point spread.
Pretty close. I mean,
Which means they each do not lead a lap yet. And you were saying that would be 3 positions.
so I just had a little technical issues there, but I just see that Graham McDonald did fit, and with their very last chance. So let's see.
So for
Bobby
Perry to
Perry
beat, so let me pull the stats up here for a second. For Perry to beat Mike, he would have to finish 3 positions in front of him.
As long as neither one of them lead a lap.
Right. Because the leading the lap, is that 5 bonus points or 1? I can't remember.
That'll be 5 bonus points.
It is 5. Okay, so that's a big deal too. So far right now, stats are showing Mike Mangiolati has led 0 laps, and Perry Bond has also led 0 laps. This is going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you're going to see that these guys are going to have to be real. It's going to be real tight. They're going to be not very many positions away from each other. I think if I was Perry Bond, I'd try to get up there and at least lead a lap. That it just shortens it up the distance a little bit. But
And a lot of drivers going in for that final little fuel splash. Every single driver on the track has made at least 2 pit stops. Some of them have made 3 pit stops, except for Doug Kulik, Mike Mangiolati, Perry Bond, and Bobby Farrell. Mike, Perry, and Bobby are your top 3 right now, and they only have made 1 pit stop. So they're thinking that they can get to the end of this thing on fuel if it's green. If we have another yellow, it's totally possible, and track position was the right choice. So track position, because you never know. There could be another yellow. Curious if it goes green, if they can make it. That's going to be panic-inducing for us as broadcasters.
yes, so they just got back on the green. So
Big
now,
move there.
ooh yeah,
Bobby Farrell.
Brian
Oh, no, it's
Lovell
Bobby
just made
Farrell.
a-
Brian Lovell. Yeah, sorry. Farrell's in the lead. I'm looking at
Harry's
Farrell's
just-
name.
Harry's he's got some momentum coming from the high side. He's just got to get that. They got to get in tight, stay tight, get pushing a little bit. They are. They're really close together. Like Perry Bond's coming pretty hard on the outside there.
Yep, side by side with Mike Mangiolati.
Of course, Mike see that coming, so he made sure that he got right up behind Bobby and gave him a good push.
Yeah. Now,
Because
if one of
he
these
doesn't-
guys can lead a lap, that's going to be massive, because that
Yep.
extra 5 points. Right now, if Perry can finish 3 spots, he would need 3 spots in front of Mike to get him.
Needs a little push. They don't think he's got it.
He does not.
Does not. Yep. He's fighting. Perry's just fighting, thinking that if I can at least get a lap, like you said, that narrows it down a little bit. They can finish at least 2 positions ahead of him and still take the championship. So.
And we were wondering this yesterday. It's like we were crunching the numbers here live on the air, and we were wondering if guys sometimes put the broadcast on in the room and sort of listen to us talk. You know, we don't even know if we're 100% right half the time, because we're excited and we're trying to focus on calling the race. We're also trying to run the numbers and make sure the numbers aren't wrong. We were pretty close yesterday. That was a super close finish. But yeah, definitely with an 11-point gap. Perry right there, I believe he got it. He
got it. I was gonna say if he was the start finish line was on the backstretch, he would have had it.
This is big.
That changes it a little bit now. But of course,
Yep.
You got Mike Mangiolati. He's right there. Technically, he wasn't 4th at the line, but he's running. Oh no!
Oh no. That may have been caused by Perry.
I'm not sure, but right behind him, there was a big pileup.
I don't know if they would call that a block. We're going to stay focused on Perry here to see what happens. Because in order to serve a penalty, if he claims that was his fault.
I'm checking that out right now.
Yeah, we'll go into a replay here. We'll back that up. It looked like he was trying to stick with that high line.
That's a tough call. Because it looks like he was right there. I think Ken Roberts lifted a little bit, and Greg Palmer was right behind him, had nowhere to go, and give him a little bit extra shot. And Perry did come up a little bit, but he was still pretty straight on.
Yeah, looking at helicopter camera. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one. I would just say that's racing. I mean, that's not malicious in any way, obviously. I mean, nobody ever does anything maliciously out here on the track.
I think Perry was hot. I believe he was up. I think Perry was up high enough to where it was just the accordion effect kind of went back all the way to about where Greg Palmer was, and then he got into the back of Ken, which of course caused Ken to go around.
Yeah, and Ken had just a tiny bit more steam, and they were able to slide to the right. But not so much steam that, like making that move, Perry making that move. There's nothing wrong with that move.
So that gets Perry a lap led. Just looking how many laps have been led. Bobby Farrell's got the lead on that. And now Perry Bonham's coming down to pit road with Bobby Farrell and Mike Mangialardi. As I told you before, I think Mike's best thing to do is just mimic everything that Perry does. Follow him in, stay right with him. Even if you don't beat him, just stay right with him. That's all you need to do is have him right. If you're right on his rear bumper, you've got the championship.
See, the official there had to turn the stop sign and let the pack go by. Nobody's allowed to merge into the pack. But the sign has turned green again. So they are clear to go. Perry leads the pack off of pit road.
Dual only for Perry Bonham. Oh, now where's Randy?
So let's see here. I'm just quickly going through the rules. Two lucky dogs. Yeah, we knew that. Everyone gets 2 incidents per race. If you cause 2 incidents, you are required to park it for the night. If you know you caused an incident and the yellow does come out, call it out. Pit the second time by only. Drivers serving penalties do not get to pit repeatedly to top up their fuel. Take full service and speed out of the pits. Come back on the track. That way it gives you the end of the longest line penalty. The speeding is what puts you to the back. So it says here, and they've actually got it in bold, if you know you caused an incident, the yellow comes out, call it out, pit the second time around only. So Perry came in first time.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think he's at fault on that one.
So Perry came in the first time, and now my scoring is showing Ken at the back. So I believe
Ken's going to take the fall.
Ken took the blame for that because Ken is now at the end of the longest line.
So these guys that are pitting now, and Ken did what he was required to do. Second time by, went in, took full service, came back out. He cannot pit again. So these guys that are pitting now will start behind him, but he doesn't get any penalty before that because they went in, after he's already done what he was required to do. All right, I had the hiccups.
So here's the replay here. Speed it up a little bit here because we're under pacing speed. Ken comes down the pits. He's doing 55 the whole way. He gets 2 right sides, 2 left sides, and he's too close to speed out. From his start position, or from his pit stall, he wouldn't be able to get enough speed to get the speeding penalty. So he's just doing the end of longest line penalty himself. And he's at the back, currently in 17th, last place position. Actually moved up a little bit. He's in 14th currently. There's a couple other cars behind him, but
And
Interesting.
We have Keith Bynum's back. So
And Perry
Not sure.
Bond. Let's see. Mangialardi currently sitting in 9th position. Perry Bond in 6th. And Perry does have that lap led. He has actually led 2 laps. Mike Mangialardi with 0 laps led.
race had ended right now, Perry Bond would be your champion.
Yes, he would.
It's been a fairly good shakeup on some of the cars. Danny Carroll pitted on that last one. He was outside. He was in 2nd up there with Greg Lovell. So I don't know if fuel was an issue or whether he had a tire problem or whatever, but he went to the back. So, but there's got a lot of these guys that come to the back. They know they can work their way to the front.
And you know that Roberts and Carroll work together a lot, so maybe he did that on purpose just to have a buddy.
Yep. Yeah, you got the Lovell family, and Denny Carroll, the Big Stone Gap Racing. They all work together. We know Greg Palmer, Ken Roberts, John Godfrey.
Yep.
RJ Cabana. They all kind of work together, and
those are the Rolling Thunder guys. Yep.
Yep.
Your front row right here.
Teammates.
Sorry, say again.
That's why they have teammates, so that way they can, that those teammates can help out, and even some you might have questioned some of the things that were some of the Big Stone Gap guys pitted last night, but that's what they got to do for their teammate.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to stick with their teammates.
Yep.
Help them out, pit with them, even though they don't need to. Maybe drop out of sequence, give them a couple more points. So that points comes down to now with Perry Bond and Mike Mangialardi. Slow down when I say that.
Mm-hmm.
So with the 11-point gap that Mike had on Perry, with Perry leading that lap now, it's basically he only needs to finish 2 spots in front of Mike. So that's 5 bonus points for leading the lap, and then there's 5 points between each position. That would give him 15.
You're going to be getting up tomorrow morning and you're going, because your mind's so busy from
it is. Yeah, I'm like, okay, 11. So like you need 15, which is 3 positions, but now he's got the lap led, so now he only needs 2 positions because he's got the bonus 5. So yeah,
your wife's gonna look at you while you eat breakfast. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, it was 5 points. That's 5 points.
Be doing that, and I'll be racing. So
exactly. So if Mike can get a lap led, there's back to that 3 position gap again. But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. Front row, Graham McDonald and Greg Lovell right next to each other here. Pace car will get out of the way.
Easier to figure out tonight than it was last night.
Yep. Yeah, last night I had to write all the positions down to find out the actual number of points that they get for each position.
Yeah.
Here I already know it's just a 5-point gap. So at the beginning of lap number 15, we go back to green. Yep. Oh no, a blown motor in the back. It's Ken Roberts.
Oh no.
I'm just holding right here to see the green flag is still out. Yellow flag is out. Yeah. The yellow flag has come out.
We're not less than 10, so I don't know why they're racing back.
I was wondering if Ken was going to be able to get that car parked quick enough to call the tow truck, but it's a debris caution. He's not obstructing the racing line because there's nobody behind him, but they're going to pull it. Unfortunately, that's 2 blown engines. Like, we had 1 last night and we have 1 tonight.
Yeah, that can suck, and especially just unless he missed a gear shifting up or something like that. But
yeah,
that's happened.
That has happened, and it happened in a spot where that definitely could have been. That definitely could have been the issue when I missed a gear. Riding on board right now, watching replay from Robert's cockpit. Yo, it didn't even look like it hit the gas. It looks like the thing just caught fire right when the green flag hadn't even come out yet.
We got to find out where these guys are getting their camshafts, because they blew up a camshaft.
Yeah.
See, Greg Palmer's got a black flag, but that might have been a situation where he might have passed Ken. As the green come out, he went. Ken's motor blew, so they'll clear that up for him.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too. Black there, but on a restart, that'll be
right.
And some leagues don't clear any black flags. In that situation, they would definitely clear it because the yellow came out because of an engine failure, and there's nothing you can do. You have to drive by the guy.
With this series, when you're doing the double file restarts, you have to be able to clear black flags, because if you're on the inside lane and let's say you're fifth and the guy that is fourth doesn't get quite a good run and you beat him to the start finish line, you're going to concur a black flag. So that's where they do clear that. Tuesday nights we don't clear any black flags, and we've seen some results from that of some people not wanting to race with us just because of that.
But hey, man, that's the rules, and that's what sets every league apart. They all run a different combination of stuff.
Me and Chris have had discussions about that. We're not going to go into too much length on it, but it's like I always say, why do they put grass on the infield of racetracks? Because if it's asphalt, we'll try to use it. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, every series, every league, it has different rules to keep it fresh, You could be racing in the same league on a different night. They've got a completely different rule book. Like here they run yellow and no damage, but then on Tuesday there's damage and yellows and 3X. Like all that stuff changes.
At least this league doesn't run cool down caution. Sorry.
What's that?
Cool down cautions.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's a Tuesday night league that you wanted me to come with you on.
Okay, yeah. Well, how does that work? Cool down cautions.
So some leagues, like on Wednesday night, I run with a different league, and they actually control their own cautions. So that's what they do. Okay. And so what they'll do is if there's a spin or something, if it's a self spin or just one car spin, they don't pull the caution out. But if you get a multiple car spin, and the reason why they do that is, if you're especially at a short track or small track, you can be doing 5-6 laps of cautions, and that takes up time. They'd rather be racing. This league that I run with on Wednesday, what they do is it's a 2 caution rule. When one caution comes out, you get 2 laps. We're going back green. On less than 10, it's always just 1. So they do that same thing. So they call it a caution cool down, which means no matter what, they're not pulling a caution.
Ah, okay. I noticed too.
You've broadcasted over there, so you should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sometimes I don't pay attention to that stuff though, because that's just we kind of figured that out, I think, because the yellows were going away pretty quick. And we're like, I believe they're in control of the yellows. We had a car disappear back there. Who was that?
I didn't
Bobby
see
Farrell.
Hey,
I just checked the console. Bobby Farrell has fell to an unacceptable.
Fell on unacceptable level.
Yeah. So he can get back in, which is if you're going to fall out due to a connection problem, that's what that means. You just have an internet issue. He has enough time to get back in and get back into the sequence here without even going a lap down sometimes because his track's long enough. Right,
and then some leagues will give you back laps up to 1 lap. But that depends on each series. This series here is run by Graham McDonald. Yeah, as you can tell, some of the rules and stuff are just a little bit different than what we had last night, but that's what makes them interesting. Like you said before.
Yeah. I think in that situation too, when you fall out on a connection issue, this is a long enough track. You can get connected back in and get back on the track. They're not going to give you a spot back, but you won't go a lap down, so that's totally fine.
Yeah, and then if there's another caution, you'd be a lucky dog, so that would help out. Because like you said, there's always two lucky dogs.
Right.
We're still under caution, so I'm sitting there thinking we're only going to have probably
9 or 10?
I would say 8 laps left. Now we're almost like a true sprint race.
Mm-hmm.
When these sprint races that they have, what if people that are kind of out there going sprint races, we don't see that. Well, you do if you watch the mega marathon races. That's kind of the same idea. A lot of the leagues will start up their server for an hour and a half, and it's there just running. If you've ever been at Talladega and Daytona, and you're about the only person out there, that kind of gets boring. And it's not much fun. So what I found with this league and the league that this came from is they would do what they call sprint races. So they go out and they run a 10-lap race. You don't have to pit. You don't have to do anything. There's no cautions, no damage. You just go out and have fun for 10 laps. Good way to get you kind of into what, into the more intense part of the race. In practice, you're not so, you're not gripping the wheel so much. But in that 10-lap sprint race, you'd be gripping the wheel a bit more. You're racing a little harder.
It's frantic.
Yeah. And some people take a few chances and cause, wrecks. But it's part of it's just fun and it's practice. And, it's to me, it's better doing it that way than it is to be trying to go out there and just do laps with people. And, you're not really under any type of race conditions.
Yeah, it's I've won a couple of those, and it's still stressful, but it is a little bit easier if an accident happens. You're like, well, because the next one's coming in like 6 minutes, just going to restart and do another one.
I won one at Talladega Nights race. This is the actual track. And I was like third or fourth.
Awesome.
Third or fourth, I wasn't really in contention, and then the two guys in the front got a little bit too close and touched each other a little bit, and I just went doom right by him and snuckered the win away.
Nice. Lights are off on the pace car, so we will be going green this time by. On your screen, another reminder for the September 28th race, the Breast Cancer Awareness Race for a Cure, presented by Nate Balser. 9:00 p.m. September 28th, we will be racing Talladega, and it is the BSR version 3. Burnt Screwdrivers has a custom version of this as well. Gripped up a little bit differently, different art on the walls and on the ground and everywhere else. I believe that's a night truck, so that's always cool when it's under the lights. So that'll be a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel and pay attention, because I'll be making a thumbnail for that thing. Now that I know what version of the track we're using, I can take the proper screenshots.
Very good. So now, we got Greg Lovell up there leading, Graham McDonald's on the outside, Frank Divins, and then Nate Balser there. Are you going to be watching them? No. We're going to be watching Perry Bond and Mike Mangialardi, because they have got 8 laps to figure this championship out. They are one position apart from each other. Not quite side by side, but they could be, depending on which line gets the better run. So I'm focusing on Perry Bond to see what he does.
Yep. So we're looking at the number 60 of Perry Bond, that Red Bull car there. And right beside him on the inside line, the 029. Oh, he's not 029. Nope, just a regular 29. Mike Mangialardi in that Blackhawk Down sponsored rig.
That green. Now, so the inside line got a way better start.
Yes, they did.
That doesn't mean that they're going to stay up there. It's just going to be a minute or two. And that could just be as simple as Graham didn't get the shift right, and so that slowed that whole line down. And I was going to say they'd probably be okay until I just saw, the guys in the back, they're not really concerned about this championship. They're concerned about how they're going to get themselves further to the front. When a line's not going, they're going to go to the other line that has the momentum. So they all went down there, kind of left them out there hanging. We'll see if somebody pulls up in front of Graham McDonald. I think Mike Mangialardi was looking about doing it.
Oh, yeah, they're trying
they're
to
doing
it. They're sort of doing it. They got her figured out. Okay.
Kelly Kaza and Mangialardi and Greg Palmer all just kind of snuck up in there in front of Graham McDonald. They see that energy coming. So Mike Mangialardi just doing what he needs to do. All he's got to do is keep Perry Bond behind him. He's got the championship.
Yep, exactly. Perry Bond, we are focused on him right now in that high line. And he is got 3 cars between him and Mike on his line. But it's actually more like 6 or 7 cars because they're side by side here. So it's showing Mike in 4th and showing Perry in 10th. Not good enough. Perry needs to find a way to get in front of that 29.
About 7 laps.
Yeah, it has happened.
Oh, it has. I mean, I've seen some of these guys do remarkable things here, just coming through the field and working their way to the front. But you got to remember, you got to have help to do that. So, are these guys going to help them guys, or are they going out to try to win the race themselves? As you can see, okay, we're just watching to see what happened there. Randy Wawa and Keith Bynum went to the high side. Doug Hillick pulled up out there, and then Perry Bond went with them. So Kerry's just trying to go to see if he can find a line. They're still kind of running behind the middle line, but they've been slowly but surely working their way up to that top side to see if they can make up room up there. And they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, Perry does like that high line. It is working in his favor right now. Graham McDonald and Doug Hillick are pulling him right up beside that 29 car of Mike Mangialardi. It changes that quick.
And
there was
like
like a
said,
7-position gap between those guys a lap ago, and now they're right door to door.
So it's like you said before, everybody here pretty much wants that inside line. But once you get 3 wide, that inside line isn't as comfortable as, it isn't really the place you want to be. And then you want to be on the bottom or the top. So that's kind of weird how it works, but that's what happens.
Yeah, we are not really focused on the leaders right now, even though it is RJ Cabana.
They have a hell of a battle going up there with RJ Cabana and Greg Lovell, who I think just moved back to about 3rd.
Nope.
Ooh! Finn.
Cars around.
Oh my gosh.
Mike is clear.
Perry Bond
is not.
Just right in the middle of the whole thing.
Raceback situation. We're going to stay locked in. Right on Mike. Our season points leader. Currently in 1st overall.
What a crash that was. That was a lot of cars.
I saw it in the side cameras there.
Well, I was focused on Perry. Focused on Perry Bond there, and I just saw smoke, and then I saw the Red Bull car, Red Bull airplane, take off from the track. Red Bull does sponsor airplanes too, so.
Yep. So it looks like Mike will cross the line and from 7th to 5th. So he is now in 5th position. We'll back this up real quick and get you an instant replay. And focus on Perry Bond.
Oh, I was kind of chuckling to myself about something, but
it happened in front. Yeah. About 3 rows in front of Perry. He actually almost got through that and then just
went crazy.
Just got mixed up in the blender. I mean, that's the best way I can describe what that looked like. It just looks like you went into the blender and it wasn't really grinding him. And then it started grinding him right about here.
Bobby Farrell's technically still 7 laps down. That's going to add a lap.
Right.
It's going to be probably a 1-lap shootout, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, Bobby's 7 laps down. Yeah, because he had the connection failure. Did he ever get logged back in? Let's see. Back live again. We're going to see if we got Bobby back in here. I don't believe so.
We're just going to go see if he's out.
No, he's not.
He's not. So I was just chuckling about that because our local track, we have a time limit where we can start our engines and stuff because we're kind of in the middle of a town. And there's the guy that lives next to the track complains because everybody goes up there too early. So we can't go in until 10 o'clock.
How do you live next to a racetrack and complain about race cars?
Exactly. So we make sure, a bunch of us make sure that we go by at 9 o'clock in the morning making a bunch of noise.
Exactly. That's like people in downtown Toronto when the Honda Indy comes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of loud. I'm like, you realize you live on Lakeshore Boulevard, right? Like this is the main straightaway for this race and has been for the past, 60 years? I don't even know. Long time. It's not a new thing. Like you live in an apartment building 3 blocks away from the longest straightaway on the track. Doesn't matter if you live three blocks away anywhere down there on exhibition grounds. It's going to get loud on Honda when the Honda Indy comes to Toronto. So you're just going to have to deal with it, man. It's going to be loud for a week. Sorry.
So live at my house, not but maybe 100 yards to one direction of my house is the direct line where the airplanes come in and come out of the airport that's just
Exactly.
over here. Okay, that's all right.
Do you make phone calls to the airport? You know, could you guys keep it down?
So just to make fun of that, but there's 6:30 every morning. There's a jet that comes in. All right, you know, you get used to that. But then once a year, this is the week. They start on Sunday. The biplanes and the jacks and all that stuff come up and do aerobatics all week, and then tomorrow
Air
the show.
Yeah.
So all day long today, I'm out there listening to planes going. Meow, meow.
That's cool.
I said to my sister, I said, I think I'm going to call it the town and complain.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool to watch.
You literally live next to an airport. You know, there's something about these planes making all this noise there, Ethel. We might want to make a phone call.
A good potato gun. I could drop a potato on the runway from my house.
I just love it.
So let's see what we got going on here. We got.
It's like we got this great deal on this property right next to this amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 3 weeks later, there's a concert. What's all the ruckus? You move next to an amphitheater, an outdoor stadium that has music every week.
Lardy, now I'm getting back to racing, sorry.
Yes.
Angel Lardy is in 5th. He did not pit. I believe Perry Bond did pit. Good. Might as well get 4 tires and fuel and do the best you can. Now the question is one more lap. We are going to have, I believe, a 1-lap shootout.
Yeah, because the lights are on still. They're definitely going to go off.
I think you're going to just see a green checker.
Yeah, I think we might.
Wish that people could do a little bit more with the codeness and actually put that in there where you could have the green-white checkered racing. So
Perry's sitting currently on 11th and Mike in 5th with a green-white checker. That's going to be impossible. Well, I can't say it's going to be impossible.
It'll be impossible. I mean, you're just going to have to Hail Mary it.
Yeah, you can't lift at all.
It's ever better, I guess, to ask for forgiveness than permission. So you just got to take. And then when you're done, say sorry.
Yeah, and these guys got to understand that he's going to go for it. I mean, you just have to move people out of the way and go for it.
But remember, we're still at that track that you need help.
Yeah.
You need somebody to go with you. You can't do it on your own. It's not like Martinsville where you can just, roll to the front and go. You're going to have some help behind you.
And that's the thing. You think the gap from 11th to 5th is a big one, but it's not. I mean, they're going to be running 2 and 3 wide, so you could get right up next to them pretty quick.
The biggest thing is that if it's just a 1-lap shootout, unless it drops and that's it from here, but a 1-lap shootout, you're 3/4 before you really get up to full song. You got to have somebody that really, you got to really kind of hit the start, get the start right and good, and then, get a good push to get that momentum going up better than your opponents. And then that's the only way you're really going to probably make up the time.
Couple of guys going into the pits.
Closes it up a little bit, but I don't think it's enough yet.
Interesting. Because then that puts Perry from 11th to 9th.
No, race is over. Race is over. We're not going green.
Weird.
I would have thought we'd at least had a 1-lap shootout.
I wonder if cars in the pit line, does that down in the pits, does that have anything to do with that? It shouldn't.
The only thing that could do it, and you've got Kelly Kaza and Bobby Farrell laps down. So that added 1 more lap, and that was probably the difference.
Yeah, and being that close, that's a shame.
Been nice to see him race it out.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So we're going to go out to Mike Vangelardi, and he's going to be this series champion.
You know what, though? Greg, was it Ken Roberts' engine exploded under yellow?
Oh, that's true.
We're not done yet. That's the thing, right? Like, oh, okay, well, the race is over. I'm like, what if something crazy happens? Like, you don't know. Bobby Farrell had connection issue. His modem shut down or whatever happened to him. He never came back.
I don't know whether
you know,
what their rules are.
And that's
NASCAR
considered a mechanical failure.
NASCAR rules, you can't push a car across the start-finish line. So if something happens, I don't know what their rules are on pushing somebody. But that is crazy. Yeah, or out of gas, or if they broke. So let's say hypothetically Randy Waugh's right behind you. His engine breaks. He's like, oh crap, my engine breaks. If Randy Waugh pushes him to the line, he's our champion.
Right. Yeah, see, that's a weird rule that you never even would have thought of. But it could happen.
Actually, we've talked about it in some leagues because that it can happen.
Mm-hmm. So that's crazy, man. We've been under yellow here for what, 5 or 6 laps? It's going to end up being 5 or 6 laps.
That's crazy. I would have thought we'd had a green-white checker, or not a green-white checker, but a green checker.
Yeah, yeah. Like that car should have pulled off right now, but with the lights being on, he's not going to do it.
Now we're on the last lap right now, and the lights didn't go out. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't matter anyway, but yeah, I thought for sure, like you said, lights would have been off, and he would have been out of the way right now, and we would have been doing some green flagging all the way around this thing. And Perry's like right there with Mike in 5th and Perry in 9th. He had a shot.
Finish second.
Yep. 100%.
He's going to get
An
second.
awesome run for both of these guys.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed about. They put all of it into it, but getting caught up in that last caution kind of hurt him in the fact that he couldn't try to race back and maybe improve his position. So.
Yeah, that would have been a fantastic finish if we would have run the rest of this under green, because it would have been really cool, really, really quick.
Yeah,
but instead it's really cool at 70 miles per hour.
This is the boring part of broadcasting. Yeah, we're going to go green next Saturday.
Yeah, and it's a shame, too, because it's such a good race, and it's just that bad timing at the end when that thing came out, and like you said, with the cars being lapped down. Greg has retired, Brian has retired, Denny, Doug, Greg Palmer, they've all retired because the race was done, so they just got out of the way. And Perry Bond could not catch Mike Mangialardi, so I'm going to focus on Mike.
So, we got Nate Balzer finishing 3rd. Chris Elliott's going to be 2nd, and RJ Cabana is going to be the winner.
Yeah, your race winner. Ended up leading 9 laps tonight. The most laps led on the night will be RJ Cabana in the 889 car. National Guard sponsored machine. Followed by, like you just said, Chris Elliott and Nate Balzer.
Stick around. We'll have the interviews of the top 3, and then we'll have an interview with Mike Mangialardi, our champion, after we give them guys a little chance to give their shout-outs. I am going to start grabbing people.
We're just watching RJ drive around with the flag right now. Race winner. Congratulations to RJ, and of course, congratulations to Mike Mangialardi for the win.
Drag Nate Balzer in here. He's a 3rd place finisher.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. You seem to be constantly running up near the front of these super speedway races. Is there a trick up your sleeve? You pretty good at this stuff, I take it?
No, just pulling some old tricks out and see how they play out.
Yeah. I thought we were going to get at least you guys are going to get a 1-lap shootout there, and we didn't quite get that.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking too, but I was directly behind Cabana. In the same situation, I would have done the same thing. I was just going to stick with Cabana, and I got to be honest, to have as good a time doing that as winning, is pushing a guy. It's just a lot of fun, and it's nice to be up in the top 5 there again. It's a good race.
Very good race. I'd say I'm 100% behind you. That I'm not a leader in these things. I'd rather push people than lead. So I understand that. So that was what we finished second in the first one, I think it was.
Yeah, so having a pretty good night. I mean, it's just like you said, pushing the guy, being in the top 5 or top 2 and pushing the guy to the win. It feels good. It feels just like a win.
Kind of looking at the points, so you're going to probably surpass Robert Breedlove. Don't know if you quite kind of made enough tonight to beat Brian Lovell, but he's pretty close. But you always try to shoot for the highest you can go, and you come back try to do for wins. Unfortunately, tonight wasn't quite your win night, but a couple of times on the top 3, it's not a bad night for you at all.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I missed a couple of races in this series. Had a little electrical problem with the junction box and one night, and but like you said, you just come back and try to run a good race. Things just kind of turn out how they turn out, and just have some fun and just kind of let the cards go how they go, and that's about the best you can do. And you can walk away and say, hey, had a good night.
Yeah, that they say you can't win the race if you don't race in it.
That's right.
I'm going to give you the floor again. Give you a chance to give some thanks out to the people that you want to thank, and congratulations on your second and third place finish tonight. Floor is yours.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks, Jerry and Kathy, my sister Lisa, my wife Angela, my daughters Alex, Madison, and Katerina. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I thank Tarnation TV and Primetime Racing League. Thank you all very much.
Awesome run, man. Congratulations, Nate.
Thanks,
Good job,
brother.
Nate.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Good run. Now, our second place finisher, and I didn't know he was a ace super speedway driver, but yeah, you do pretty good at these. How was your night?
Well, as you may already know, I got the pole on the random qualifying, which doesn't happen often. I'm like, but that doesn't mean anything with me because I'm not a very good super speedway racer, and I'm not a good qualifier at all. So that was kind of nice to start up from. However, I lost connection right before the start of the race and started a lap and a half back. So I figured it'd be at least one caution. Got the lucky dog, and I'm not good at climbing back from the back to get to the front. So that was kind of unusual, but I'll take it. And the guys I was around raced really clean. I want to thank those guys, all the guys actually, but Cabana and Nate, they always drive me clean, and it was a fun race.
So now we know what happened to him at the beginning, because we were yeah, Chris Elliott's got the pole. Wait a minute, where's Chris?
Yeah, I went to desktop, and I'm like, and we were getting ready to start the race, and I couldn't get back in before everybody got gridded, and the time ran out, and I was not in yet. So the game will make you wait until they take the green and run one full lap, I believe, and then I'm able to turn the motor on and get going. So that's what happened there.
Well, that's good. Now you made your way all the way through some of the mess that they had. It was actually a fairly clean race, and got yourself up into a second place. Can't complain about that. Blaine, if you want to ask any questions, if not, we're going to open the floor for him.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, I was just gonna say awesome comeback to say, like, we didn't know what happened. We figured, Chris went to go grab a pop.
Wait
and
a
then
minute, a
missed
top-notch place like Tarnation team did not know what happened to me. I'm disappointed.
We always like to speculate. I'm like, oh no, like we were saying with Keith, I'm like, oh yeah, the pizza guy showed up, so he retired from the race to go eat a pizza. So we always start making stuff up. But that was to come back, and end up finishing second is wild. Like it says, yeah, you qualified first, but you didn't start until 2 laps later. And still found a way to be back here again. So it's great, dude. Great to see that.
Yeah, I've seen things like that happen before to other drivers, but not to me. So it's kind of nice for a change for it to happen in the way it did. But came up a little short, but I'll still take second. And like I said, these 2 guys I was around, they're top notch. And I love all these guys. There's a great group of guys here. I want to thank Graham too. Man, he just puts on a good show out here.
Anybody else you want to thank before we let you go?
Sure. I want to thank Blaine and Tarnation TV and Rod. You're doing a good job behind the booth there. You're almost as good a broadcaster as you are a racer, but congrats on that. Damn good racer. I want to thank all the guys here at PRL Race and all the admins and and my wife for letting me race tonight. So thanks again.
All right. Have a good one, buddy.
Thanks, Chris. RJ again in the booth this evening, dude. Look at this. Congratulations on the win. That was unfortunately like the last 5 or 6 laps ended up being yellow, but it's a fantastic race watching.
Yeah, under green, just try to, keep myself out of trouble again, obviously, and just respect the guys going for the championship, and try to get a good finish. And last green flag run there till the last yellow there, I just took it on the outside, and Nate Balzer gave me a good push there to get around Greg there to take the lead, and that was basically the end of that. Just thanks Nate for giving me a good push,
And that yellow situation kind of weirded us out. We thought for sure you guys would be going back green to end that thing under green, but
yeah, a lot of the racers were talking about it, I guess, but they had a league rule if the yellow, if they take the one to go at a certain lap or something, they'd have to end it under yellow, I guess, or something. So I wasn't too familiar with it, so I thought we were going to go back too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? Yeah, maybe we missed one of the rules or something.
I guess because one of the admins threw a yellow there with when we were going back to go racing, but I guess there was a rule they said posted.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
That makes sense now.
Okay, gotcha. Well, locked in that, that made it easier for you then. Just drive those last couple laps. You're like, oh, you think you're going green, white checkered? Nope, you're wrong.
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously if we go green, it's just try to, I'm going to hug the yellow line and just hope for the best. I had Nate behind me. He'd probably start behind me and just, try to finish up there and try to get the win if we went back green. But, hey, I'll take it. It's the first time here on PRL, so excited, appreciate it. Thanks PRL, you guys for hosting, and shout out to my wife Crystal, my kids Jack, Luke, and West, and my sister-in-law Holly, again watching out from California tonight. She's enjoying these races, guys. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, Holly.
Yes. Congratulations on the win, bud.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And
Thanks, RJ.
congratulations to Mike Mangialardi for the championship.
Right. That was RJ Cabana, our winner tonight. But now, finishing 5th tonight, taking the championship, Blaine, take it away.
Mike, man, what an awesome run. It was a shame we were saying down to the end under yellow, man, because Perry was coming for you, dude. He only needed to get in front of you by a couple of spots. Was that playing in there? Like, did you guys think you were going back for 2 or 3 laps of green to finish that thing off, or did you know it was going to go yellow the whole way?
I think he fell asleep.
Mike
No,
had to go get the pizza. There he is.
I'm sorry, I had to run off to the restroom real quick. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
Just got back.
I think you're going to have to give him the question again.
I totally can. Yeah, man. Like like Perry, you guys were almost door to door the entire time. Like, okay, how far are these guys away from each other? He basically, all he had to do is beat you by 3 spots. And unfortunately, we didn't get to end under green to see it. Were you thinking you were going back green flag racing, or did you know it was going to end under yellow?
Well, I was kind of hoping for green flag. That would have probably made it a little more fun.
Yeah, because it was shaping up to be a fantastic race. That whole race was great. I mean, you get a blown engine, yellow comes out, and deflates a little bit of it, but I mean, it was still a great race.
Perry did a good job. Put the pressure on me.
What was the fuel?
You guys kept us like trying to figure out what to do here, because it ain't talking under green. We were trying to figure out how to go around it.
Well, I'm thinking,
I just had to try to stay in front of him.
what was the fuel strategy early on in the race too? Because we were kind of thinking, okay, it's a 29 lap race. You can probably get 20 to 23 or something on a tank. Pitting early and never pitting again, was that an option, or how do you play that out?
Well, I was looking at it, but I was kind of following Perry's lead because he was in front of me at that point. So I just was following him to those pit stops near the end to make sure I had enough gas to make it to the end.
Right. Are you planning on? Are you racing here as much as possible? Do you have any other leagues you're going into, or what's the plan for the future?
No, PRL. I race at other ones just on off nights, but PRL.
Well, here's a question: have you ever won a championship in a series before?
No, I've only been running NASCAR 2003 for a little over 2 years.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, congratulations on your first series win. That's awesome.
And I got my first win this season also.
Oh, really?
In a series.
Wow. So winning a race, winning a series, a little bit of everything. And then look at that roster too. Like every name on that thing. All those guys are hard to beat. So that's so cool, man. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, I lucked out. Few guys missed some races, so that helped me along there.
That's hey, you show up every week and stuff happens.
Exactly, you got to be here every week.
Any shout outs you got for people watching or friends on the track? The microphone is in your hands.
Okay, well, first of all, let me thank my buddies at the Rainier Room for supporting me, and actually they've watched every single race that I've had on TV. And thank all the admins at PRL. They do a great job. And let me thank the broadcasters, Blaine and Rod. You guys do a great job up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for everybody who was assisting me, pushing me throughout those last 2 races and trying to help me out.
Yeah, man, the Rainier Room guys, they got a good show tonight. Clinching the championship, taking it all home. What's the prize here at PRL? Do you get like a cool gold trophy or a high five, or how does it work?
I thought it was $1 million, but we'll see.
We'll do the million. Yeah, let's do that. It'd probably end up being 1 million credits to some website that doesn't work. But either way, it's $1 million something.
Exactly. Number's still huge.
That's it.
Right.
We'll put it on the check. Awesome,
Yeah, but
man.
honestly, I was sweating those last 18 laps, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, just watching the ticker going, like watching your F2, like where's Perry, where's Perry, where's Perry? I could just imagine what
should I
that's
go
like.
high? Should I go low? What should I do?
Yeah. Well, it worked out, man. You got it all.
Yeah, a shame it ended under caution, though. A green flag in would have been actually really nice.
Yeah, we've been getting spoiled rotten with some amazing finishes. So every once in a while, there's just a weird circumstance with the cautions. So that ends under yellow. It ends under yellow. You still win the championship. So.
Oh yeah, that's the bottom line. What do they say? A win is a win.
A win is a win, man.
Yeah.
Did you? Hey Rod, did you have anything to say to Mike before we kick him out of here?
I've raced with him enough. I mean, he's an awesome racer, very clean. We've had some pretty good races in the Aero 88 series and stuff like that. Congratulations to you on your championship, but well deserved. Like I said, we're like seeing a little green flag finish, gave us a little more things to talk about. But congratulations on your championship, bud.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Mike. Mike Mangialardi, your season winner, season 1 of the Primetime Racing League Saturday Night Super Speedway Shootout Series.
Yeah, and it's ending a caution like that. I didn't know they had that rule. That would have been more exciting to finish the other way, but yeah.
What was the? They just don't do one to go kind of thing.
But I believe probably I'm going to look into that a little bit more to find out exactly why and what it is. But I believe it is that they just don't. They don't want to do a one-lap shootout. I can understand that to a certain extent. I've raced at some leagues where you've done that. It's just a melee.
Oh, here we go. Racing rule number 7. I guess I printed these off for a reason. Maybe I should have looked at this a little earlier. No last lap shootouts. We will not get the green flag with 1 to go. We will throw in a bin yellow at 2 to go if necessary to finish the race under yellow. This is to prevent some wild crashes and turmoil causing in one last shootouts, meaning if the yellow comes out and you, meaning if the yellow comes out and you take the yellow with 4 to go or 5 to go, lap cars, the race will be over. If the yellow lights do not go out at 3 to go, then the race will be over. So there you go. It was right there in bold print, and I didn't see it. So
That was a good race. Kept us busy for a bit there until the end.
that's a neat rule. Like, they want a green-white checkered. That's what they want. They want a green-white checkered, and if a green-white checkered is not going to happen, they make sure it stays yellow right to the end.
Yep.
So that's why we were confused. Like, the game would have thrown the green up.
Yep.
But if it's 3, they just hit it again and they reset the yellow. The admin resets the yellow so it doesn't come out. So there you go. Now that the race is over, it's good we finally read that rule. Way to go, Blaine.
I didn't have it in front of me, so I'll blame you for that.
Yeah, I'll just blame Sebastian over here. He's our rule guy. He's supposed to send me notes, Sebastian.
So it was a fun night and fun couple of days to get back to do this with you. Last night I was a little bit rusty. I did all right, but I mean I made a few mistakes, but tonight was a little better, but just it was fun. Get back to doing this. I know I've got to get off here. I've got to get up early in the morning and go race for real. So
nice. Yep, get in the go-kart and go do some go-kart. Rock and roll, buddy. As always, thank you very much for your helping hand. And I'll be on the track next Saturday, so watch Flatout Racing Network and, watch the Mega Marathon race next week on that station. I'll be driving a car. Root for the number 33.
I'll be
That's
racing
me.
Against you.
What number car are you?
I'm in the 43 Dodge Coors Dodge.
Nice. I'm in a 33 something or other. I can't remember what it is, but, we'll be on the track doing some racing. Put the wheel on the right side of the desk this time. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everybody, for watching online. On YouTube, again, awesome numbers tonight, 90 hits. Last night was about 70 or something hits. So thank you, everybody who is involved with this and likes what we do, interacting with the chat and everything else. And thank you, Rod Weston, for the helping hand.
No problem.
And if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.